Welcome to the channel, people. If you're new here, I'm Brandy, and today I've teamed up with Maria over at Maria Kuna DIY. I will link her down below for you. She reached out to me. She's like, Brandy, we need to do a collab together. I'm like,
yeah, let's do it.
Because I've actually never done a collaboration. If you're familiar with my channel, it's not something I'm dropping each week. So I was thrilled. I've known her for some time. She's been such a great friend to me on the platform, and I am so happy to just do something fun with her. We thought it would be cool to just pick out 5 items from the Dollar Tree and each of us create some mystery DIYs that we don't know what the other one is creating, to give you guys some inspiration for different things that you can use these items with. I hope you enjoyed the video. First thing we're going to use on the list are these little wooden cubes. We're also going to use transfers and not stickers for this. You'll need some of these little wooden buttons, some random wood slices, and these towering tumbling blocks. I purchased these random wooden slices and buttons from Michael's. They were like $2 each in these giant bags. And I mean, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm always posting like budget sales stuff. Cricket had an amazing sale at Michael's recently. I post this stuff to help y'all save money, help my people. Anyhow, back to this. I glued them all together. We're gonna paint them white. Well, that's what color I'm painting. You paint it whatever makes you fuzzy inside, and then we're gonna slap a heavy layer of Mod Podge on this. It does not matter what kind of Mod Podge you use, just throw it on there thick, and while it's drying, go right ahead and start prepping your little buttons, because we're going to use this dotting tool to get tiny little detailed flowers. Now, you can use whatever style flowers you want. These are pretty simple to recreate, so I wanted to share this style with you. You kind of just take the end of the dotting tool, dip it in whatever color paint you want, start at the end and kind of bring it into the center, and it looks like a little flower. And especially since it's so tiny, it really does mimic that look, and you can just add in whatever colors you want. I'm trying to keep it to match the napkin we're going to use. You'll see that in a couple minutes. And each flower I did, or each button I did completely different. I didn't want them to match. You can make them match. Remix my ideas and make them yours. You know how I always say that, because this stuff is just for inspiration. You make these yours. Then I'm just kind of throwing in random dots. You do what you want to do. I like adding just little tiny embellishments in each one of them. And these little dotting pens, I have them linked down below. They're in some of my favorite items. I just really like using these for tiny details. Next, I'm going to take some of this gray and mix it with some of the lighter purple to give me a nice contrasting color to the buttons, because we're going to add the buttons on the front of these. My girl Angela over at Angela Jones DIY, hey girl, hey. We had talked about, I asked her opinion about, you know, if it needed something extra. We both thought they could use maybe little petals. You'll see what we're talking about with the end finish, but I left it how it was. Next, you take your iron and split your napkin as thin as you can possibly get it, because napkins have layers apparently, which I didn't know until I started crafting. And yeah, I've done this before, so if you're familiar with me, you've seen this. You take a piece of wax paper, you lay it over your napkin, and then you iron it. You just press on there, check the napkin. Once the napkin is all mooshed around, you then cut the excess off. I'm using this X-Acto knife to just actually, I want it to kind of look like bricks. Like I thought, let's just trim and we'll cut all the little pieces, and it looks like bricks. That's what I think anyway. Write in the comments what you guys think. I thought it was really cute. I took some Mod Podge and just touched up all the little seams, and then here's our transfers we're going to add on to this oval shaped piece of wood, and just give it a little accent. You do not have to do this if you don't want to, but I like to be extra sometimes. For our stems, we're going to use this beautiful yarn I picked up at Walmart. I like using yarn for certain projects. You can use some twine. Believe it or not, your girl knows how to crochet. My godmother and my mom taught me when I was real little how to make like granny squares and different stitches I can't remember the name of. And no, we're not going to be doing blankets on this channel, so don't even think about writing that in the comments. because I'm not crocheting around here. We're putting everything together. I'm just gluing it on there. I'm not being any extra with this little part right here. Usually you see me do the drills and drill holes and add the Gorilla Glue. You can do all that if you want. For this, I was just keeping it simple. Here is the palette DIY. So I saved you the painting. You're welcome. We're also going to use one of these. I know you've seen these at the Dollar Tree. I just painted both of these with the Waverly white chalk paint, and then I'm gonna take some of this Waverly wax for this little cardboard piece thingy, whatever this is. And of course, I can never do anything without issues. Oh, in my defense, people, that was not put on there very well. But anyhow, I was going to fast forward through this, but I wanted to show you that the words still showed through even after putting all this stuff on it. So I'm putting a stencil over it. I'm not too worried about it. Just adding a layer of Mod Podge and got to clean up first. You should know that this palette is not the exact same length as the bottom of this arch you're going to be using. It's slight overhang on both sides. I'm not too worried about it. If you're worried about it, I'm sorry about that, but I'm not, so I'm rolling on along. To attach both sides, I'm just using my favorite Gorilla Glue gel and a little bit of hot glue, and we're gonna let this dry for about 20 to 30 minutes. Here's the stencil I'm gonna use. I can link that down below for you. I've used this before. We're gonna put this in the little diamond thingy, and honestly, you could glue whatever you want back in this space after you take that. If it falls off on you, glue whatever you want on there. I'm just reusing this because this was the idea I had. I love how this looks with the stencil. Last on our list are these paper mache boxes and the metal hook garden-esque looking thingies. I'm choosing the square shape, and we're gonna need 5 of them for this project and paint them all white. But I do want to take a second and show you that a few of these are dented. I just wanted to show you it's not a perfect situation, but it's not a big deal because we're going to kind of put them in the middle and face the dents in the back of our tiered decorative planter we're making. I saved you from watching me paint all these little popsicle sticks. You do not have to do this if you want. I just did this with some antique Waverly wax. I'm putting these on the edges of our boxes. You don't have to do this again. Like I said, you can just leave them blank, but I thought it was adding a little extra something, and I'm extra sometimes, so I'm rolling on with it. Now, I'm using hot glue to attach all of these little things in the corner. And then I got the bright idea that it would be great to just, let's hot glue everything. Let's just do it. Let's hot glue the whole project. Don't do it. When I was about halfway through this project, pieces just started popping back off. And I was already in it, and some pieces were sticking and some pieces weren't. So there was no going back for me and adding on the Gorilla Glue gel and adding on the little zip ties. But I'm letting you know now, put little holes around and attach the zip ties where the metal meets, and it will be just fine. But do not use hot glue for the entire project like I'm doing here. Even though the mishaps happen, I'm going to walk you through the rest of this project like I am placing zip ties on this. So if you recreate this, you know exactly where I would be putting them, and you would have a stable hold so it's not going anywhere. Start off with these hooks using the small ends at the top and the larger ends at the bottom. You'll notice when you pick them, one is slightly smaller than the other. Pop your little holes right next to where the popsicle stick is, and in the center, right where the two of these little pieces meet, put your Gorilla Glue gel, your hot glue, and pull your zip ties tight. let it dry for a couple minutes, and you should be able to carry on putting the rest of this together piece by piece. Do the same thing at the bottom right next to where the little popsicle sticks are, and put a hole on each side of where the metal wire hook thingy hits, and put your zip tie through, your Gorilla Glue gel, and your hot glue. Once that's all stuck together, then flip it over and continue the same process. I was even trying to put little braces in here like this to stop from any more popping off. If I had a zip tie pulled through that, I wouldn't need to do that because the metal would just automatically be attached to it, and all that worry would be completely off of me. So please learn from my mistake, make this correct. I'd even love to see if any of you do create this, email it to me. I'd love to see it. This is such a beautiful project. I use these lilies from the Dollar Tree. Let me know what you guys think. So we had some mistakes today, people, but I hope you got some learning and some entertainment and enjoyed hanging out with me. I always love reading the comments and chatting with y'all. Maria, thank you so much for asking me to do this, girly. I love hanging out and doing this collab with you today. Until next time, people, bye.